Hi, this is Alyssa, and today I'm talking about 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John and how it relates to 21st century Christians today in America. The epistle of 1st John is all about love and abiding in God and what it looks like to really walk in the truth and how that's made manifest in loving our neighbors and loving God and not loving things of this world, which um, right off the bat seems really contradictory to the traditional American dream where anybody can just go out and build themselves up and create their own new life and whatever they want it to be, which is great and inspiring. But the question is, does that really coincide with what John says about how Christians ought to live and abiding in love? And to some points, I think it really does, because in America, we not only have the freedom to build up our own life to whatever we want it to be, but we also have the freedom to practice our religion freely. And that was one of the ideals that America was built upon, and why so many people came here today. And I think it's something that, as responsible stewards of what and where we've been given to live, we could really implement that in confessing that we believe Jesus Christ is Lord, and not saying that every person should just be standing on the street corner and trying to condemn sinners, but be communicating the truth in love. Um, John 2, verse 28 says, "And now, little children, abide in him, so that when he appears, we may have confidence and not shrink from him at shame of his coming." And I think the ability to confess Christ as Lord freely in America is really something that could be beneficial to a Christian spiritual growth. Just like this verse said, that we confess so that we will not be ashamed at his second coming, and that he will invite us into his kingdom with open arms, and that we will be assured of our salvation through him. And I think that's huge for the Christian life, just because that is what our faith is built upon. And it's really cool that in America we are just given the freedom that we can um, confess that, and we don't have to live in fear of that. And it, in a way, it sort of gives it a ground for us to be built up in love and not fear, because 1 John 4 says, "Perfect love casts out all fear." So it's a blessing that we have this here. And although that there is to say that there are some contradictory things about America and 1 John, with the idea that you can build yourself up to be whoever you want to be, in a way that sort of puts the individual on a pedestal, whereas as a Christian, abiding in love and abiding in Christ, we want to not be on the pedestal, but we want to be able to open our hearts to God first and foremost, and then to other brothers and sisters in Christ, and to let them into our lives. The word abide very much gives the image of a home and living with somebody, God in your heart, and other people that you can invite into your home. And that just builds up the fellowship and the community. And so on that front, it really does sort of go against what people tend to think of as the American dream. But it's really cool to notice how in America we can have our religion played out in a way that is glorifying to God, and that we can still identify as Christians first and also as Americans. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.